everybody, Lawman Mike with www.lawmanguitars.com. Boy, I got a really cool, very special guitar for you today. This is a 1971 Tele Custom. Now, they didn't call it a Tele Custom. It was custom ordered. In 1971, if you wanted a Tele, you got a Tele, but it was blonde. You want a Tele? Blonde. Well, I want blonde. That's what everyone had. That was what you got in Teles in 1971. Well, someone was not happy enough with that. Back in 1971, they said, you know what? I want a Sunburst Tele. And I can only imagine the look on the people's face when they heard Sunburst. Well, they only come in blonde. Well, get me one. I want a Sunburst. Oh, and by the way, I want a factory installed Bigsby on it too. Boy, talk about a special guitar. You just do not find 1971 Teles in Sunburst with a Bigsby. It's got the Fender, but of course it's built by Bigsby, bridge on it. And when I saw this, I just kept looking at it. I'm going, what is with that guitar? There's something about it. And the guy who owned the store was just kind of smiling, waiting for me to catch on, and I didn't. And I said, okay, what's the deal? And he said, you would have had to custom order those two things. You have to custom order the fact that at Sunburst, you'd have to custom order a Bigsby to put on that. And I went, wow, how much I want it. So I bought it for my customers, and I don't use a Bigsby that much, but I think they look so cool, and they're an effect. You know, you don't want to dive bomb on your Bigsbys. They're not designed for that, but they give you a nice little wavering effect. And on this guitar, it just looks really, really cool. Now let's talk about everything on it. It's got the original bridge, of course. And it has the original pickups. We'll talk about those a little bit more in a minute. But of course, the factory installed Bigsby on here. Now we know it was factory ordered because it does not have grommets in the back. A Tele would have had holes drilled through it and you'd have run them through the body. This does not have that. So that speaks to the fact that this was factory ordered. Of course, the knobs are original, the top hat knob, pick guard, neck, frets, and the frets are in really nice shape. There is some flattening in the top few frets, which you would expect to see on a guitar of this age, but original nut. And the tuners look like they're original, but I actually heard from the original owner after I had listed this guitar. I got a note from him. He says, hey, by the way, Lawman, if you'll notice, you can see an extra little spot that was filled by the tuner. There was some different tuners on it at one time. So there's probably some additional holes that were filled in there. I want to disclose that. I did not know that when I got it. I wouldn't have known except this guy pointed it out. And as I look, I can see it now. And he's right. There were some other tuners on there at some time, but obviously not hogged out or anything because the grommets fit in there just perfectly. Of course, it has the proper plate on the back, the F plate, the strap buttons, and it's in really beautiful shape. Of course, it has some marks on it, which you would expect. Teles have marks on them. They just, they're played and they get marks. But this neck, I'll tell you, a 71 neck just feels awesome. There's a pro player here in town that I show a lot of guitars to, and he came over and I opened the case and he just went, just like I did. And of course, he knew what it was. He goes, that was factory ordered. I go, yeah, I know. He picked it up by the neck and he goes, oh, Mike. And I said, what? He goes, Mike, that neck just feels like a 60s neck. And I go, that's why I like it. He goes, yeah. He says, I don't know what it is, but that neck just feels perfect. And I go, well, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't put it in those kind of terms, but that's what he said about it. And I agree with him. It feels great. I've got a 66 Strat, and Teles, typically, the necks don't feel real great to me, but this one. That is so much fun. Anyway, everything is original on it from there, and I'll tell you, it is just a great, great guitar. Now, let's talk about these pickups. Of course, if you're playing a Tele, you want to know what's going on back here. And I have to tell you, there is a huge volume difference between the front and back pickup that I was noticing as I was demoing here, which is actually pretty handy to have, because if you're going to be strumming, you don't want to be overpowering your chords. So let's go to the middle position. Okay, now let's get to the Tele side of the guitar. Okay, there is no fall off whatsoever to that pickup. That pickup is as strong and as in your face as I have ever heard on a Tele. I am so impressed by that pickup. Wow. So anyway, those are just marvelous pickups. Now, we took the, we had to open this up. There was something that wasn't working in there. We got it fixed. But I looked at it and I go, wait a minute, those are 66 pots. What's the deal? And I thought, do we have the age right on this guitar? Well, I did a little bit of research with the help of our guy who we bought it from. And back in '71, they were still using up old pots. And you can find it if you do a Google search of 1971 pots from Fender, and they were still trying to use up all the old stuff, and they did it through 1971. So the pots in here are 66s that they were still using up, and that is correct. I found that on the internet, and they weren't changed out. Those are the original pots and the original cap. So you get this really incredible guitar, and it's a custom Tele. You just don't see these. You will certainly be the only one on the block that's got a 1971 Sunburst Tele with a Bigsby. You will just be a very, very proud owner. I'm happy to say that we also have the cool case that came with it, and it's the original case. And look at here. Boy, those things still snap. You don't see that very often in a 70s case. It has been used. The leather is starting to wear off the handle, which you will see after a while. But the logo is still here. It's correct. The hinges are still here. The button on the bottom are still there. The guitar is in really, really nice shape. Inside, there is no indication of any mustiness or any odors or anything like that. Accessory box is in nice shape. It's just missing the little tab on there. But the thing that I thought was cool is we know that this is the original case. You can see the Bigsby outline in here. So it isn't just some case that someone said, oh, let's just give them this case. This is the case that went with that guitar since 1971. So listen, you get this really cool case from 1971 that the latches still snap. And you get this unbelievable 1971 custom Tele in Sunburst with a custom installed Bigsby on it. And I'll tell you what, you will not regret that decision of getting this guitar. It is the coolest guitar I have in the shop right now. I have to say, that's the one. So check it and all our really cool guitars out at www.lawmanguitars.com. And while you're there, fill out the little thing that says newsletter. We're going to be sending out newsletters, and what will happen is I will communicate with you. When I get new guitars, and this happens almost every day I'm listing guitars, my people on the newsletter will be the first to know. You won't be the last to know. You'll be the first to know that something new has shown up. You'll also be the first to know when the demos come out. I usually filter those out through the month so we don't bombard Google and Facebook with this. So what we will do is we will send all of them out at once on the newsletter. So you'll be the first ones to see the new demos that come out. There'll be some behind-the-scenes stuff that we do at the shop that might be interesting to you. I'll give you some fun facts about guitars, and it'll just be a very positive newsletter that you get. There won't be things that is argumentative, which we've had enough of that this year. Let's have a nice positive newsletter. What do you say? So hey, check out all of our cool guitars at www.lawmanguitars.com, and thanks for watching my video. I really, really appreciate it.